take some risk and bet on yourself. I knew I was a troublemaker when I started Break Into the Boardroom, which is a nonprofit joint venture focused on bringing women into privately held boards. And my goal was really to build bridges to the venture and the private equity community and really try to stop the flywheel effect of bringing the same names to the boardroom that I kept seeing our venture and our private equity investors do when they had an independent board seat. The same names, the CEO with board experience, the big headline names kept rolling around. And I said, hold on, let's just pause. And I would challenge the investors to really think about the capabilities that they need around the boardroom first before we started throwing names. And by really slowing down that process, it really and think about like, what do they need to help achieve the strategic imperatives as a business? Then I could go to work and build out with my incredible network of rock star women, 20 names per category, and show them, the real total addressable market, from a board perspective. And that's how we've really achieved parity, or how we've achieved some diversity through this Break Into the Boardroom program that seeks to connect supply and demand. And we started it 8 years ago, and we just placed our 70th woman in the boardroom, focused again on private equity and venture-backed companies. So I would say in the beginning, we were, when we were knocking on private equity and venture doors, I was saying, hi, I'm Mia, I'm here to diversify your boardroom. It was met with a lot of skepticism. And it was like rolling a ball up a hill. I had probably 20 calls with investors before I got the call back. And it's actually the firm that I'm in, Welsh Carson, who called me back and said, I love what you're doing. I will take 3 board seats. And why don't you sit on one of the boards? Which for me was like this eye-popping moment where I was like, me, I'm the recruiter. I'm trying to bring people in. But, Brian thought I had something to add from a value perspective around the boardroom for a specific organization. So I will say in the beginning, it was definitely hard to convince and to get them out of their routine. And once we started getting 1, 2, 3, 4, and I started telling the other investors, hey, Welsh Carson's doing this. Hey, Great Hill's doing this. It started a little FOMO, and I was able to start building that ball. And now it's a flywheel. I mean, it really started to create this flywheel. So we get calls all the time. And now that I'm sitting within private equity in the room as these decisions are made, for me, it's so easy to kind of pull on threads and say, hey, I heard you needed somebody that can help your CHRO. Here's 5 names. Hey, I heard that you want someone to run your audit committee. Here's 10 names. And so it's a lot easier. And I always go back to the phrase, with great power comes great responsibility. And the fact that I have a seat in the room where there are largely, white men making these type of decisions, I feel like it is absolutely my responsibility to bring and represent these women's names as these conversations come up.